Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. It's Friday Night Live. I'm Dr. Darya Ghafourpour, and I'm really happy that you're here joining me this Friday evening. Could be afternoon or morning for you as well in another part of the world, and I'm super thrilled that you're here to join me. And I'd like to share inspiring thoughts and positivity as best I can as it comes into me. I like to send that out to you, and by extension the rest of the community, and I'm hoping that you'll be inspired by whatever you hear from me, and find a way of shining some light to those around you, whether it's on your online community or in your direct person-to-person community. I'm really thrilled that you're here, and if you're here with me live, I'd love it if you'd say hello. Give me a reaction, a thumbs up, a heart, so let me know how you're doing and who you are, and maybe we can engage in some conversation too, and if not, that's totally fine. So I've had another really great day at the office today, and just seeing some really fabulous people, some new people, some people that I've known for a while. I always get a mix. Someone sent me a heart. Yay! Thank you. Whoever's joining me, I'm glad that you're here, and feel free to... Bernadette, you finally made it! You finally made it live! Yay! Well, I'm impressed. I mean, you are so busy in your daily life and with your family, your kids, and so I know that it's not easy for people to make it at a particular time when you're winding up your day, so I'm thrilled that you're here. So I was personally inspired by someone who's in one of my mentoring groups, and that's Dr. Stephen Brownlow, and he's an amazing person. He's a psychologist out in Georgetown, Texas, and he has started to post inspiring thoughts and his own inspiring wisdom on his Facebook page, and he shared it with our private group that we have, a message about allowing and getting away from the feeling of need and want, because that drums up a feeling of a lack. So that comes from a place of lack. And when we allow, that is a state of flow and a state of being that encourages and creativity, and it's opening up the door, it's opening up your heart, it's opening up the door for more good things to happen, as opposed to when we are letting ourselves get caught up in the way we want things to be, the way we need things to be. We get stuck in stagnation and discontent, and we start beating the drum of not having enough, things not being good enough. So that's a broad perspective, but I'd love to read to you what it is that he shared, because it got a really great response from our group. You know, it's like it seemed to strike a chord in all of us, and I let him know that that he's inspired me to for my message for tonight's video. So this is what I want to share with you, and you can find him online too. In fact, after the video, I'll tag him so that you can find his page and find some of his own inspiring thoughts. And he teaches and works with clinicians to help them. He trains them to help to heal others. So taking from his website, it helps them regain their spirit and fortifies their effectiveness so they can transform the world the way that they were meant to. Isn't that awesome? So I hope that I'm doing something similar along those lines, you know, with anyone who's watching here. And so when he was reflecting on, you know, allowing yourself to stop wanting or needing, he says that we all get stuck in traps of I want to do this, I want to get more clients, more works, more prospects, I want to make more money. He says even worse, we get into thinking that I need to do these. I know, right, Bernadette? It's a great message. Even worse, we get into thinking I need to do these things. Wanting has the emotional tones of lack, and needing has the tones of desperation. And if you just sit with how that feels, that feeling of like, I don't have, like your body cringes up, and you feel like you're in a disadvantaged position, you feel like you're at the effect of, you feel, at least I do, feel like I don't have control over my surroundings, over what's going on. But what I know is that I am a creative person, just like all of us. We are all creators. We really are. Even if you think that you can't paint worth anything or you can't draw worth anything, we are all creators. We create our own reality. And when we can be in that allowing state, then we get to see things happening in the way that feels great to us, in a way that helps us feel like we're moving forward, as opposed to feeling like we're being held back and we're boxed in, and we keep not getting what we want, and we focus on what we don't have, and therefore we keep creating more of what we don't have because we can't get our mind off of it. We're obsessing over it, what we don't have, what feels bad. And that's part of the law of attraction, as I've learned it, is that I'll get into that space sometimes, but what I've learned is to be aware of when I'm doing that. So I'll let myself be grumpy pants, I will not be happy sometimes. I just get frustrated sometimes. And I just go, okay, so I let myself feel that, because that's important too. It's important to acknowledge how I feel and what's going on. And then it's also important to realize that that doesn't have to continue being my reality. It's what's come my way, and that if I take a breath and allow some space and allow for something different to happen, then that's a great way to be, and different things can happen. And so what he says is, frame, that feeling of lack as let's see, I don't want to misquote him. He says, instead frame it as allowing. Allowing is abundant. It's a flowing state. I talked about that. It takes courage to allow. And when you allow yourself to stop blocking the abundance flowing to you and through you, then it goes out to others too. And so, he says, allow yourself to serve others more deeply and fully. Allow money to flow to you in ever increasing amounts. Feel how different that feels, right? As opposed to wanting or needing more money, let's say. And watch how the flow of ideas, resources, clients, and money increases once you adopt allowing as your emotional set point. So thank you so much, Stephen. I love that you put that out into the Ethernet there, and I love that I got a chance to grab that and to continue that message outward, because I think that we can all benefit from it. And I was thinking about it because part of what I practice, what I learned to do is, so I described about how I may feel a certain way. Hi, Donna. Yeah, it's great, right? And look, I didn't even have to call you to ask what should I talk about today. Oh man, I got permission from Stephen first, and he was great. He's just like, hey, I just let it go forward. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody, if it helps other people, and nice if you can give me credit, hey, I love to point you to his direction. And again, I'll tag him on my Facebook page. But, so I may be feeling a certain way. And like I said, feeling grumpy pants, and I get that way, and then I just need to relax about it and just know that things can shift when I allow it to shift. But I have to go through that initial feeling. Otherwise, I feel like I don't want to, you know what it might feel like if you're like, everything is fine, the world is beautiful, I'm in La La Land. Hey, Melissa, happy Friday, yay! I know, right? Melissa was there too. She caught that message too from Stephen. She's in my coaching group that I mentioned, that Stephen is in also, and so we all, I think, were really struck by his message, and I identify it with it too, because it feels like it's along the same thread of what I've been sharing along these Friday Night Live videos. So for me, it's affirming. It feels great when I know that other people are putting out similar messages. I'm getting on a little bit on a tangent right now, and that's okay, because what I feel we need to do is be the beacon of light out there. So Stephen is a beacon of light, and he cast out that beam of goodwill and of light, really, literally the frequency of light. And he's asking us to allow instead of to get caught up and cringe and tighten up in that state of needing and wanting and feeling desperate, so that we can create and flow, so that our lives can flow and we can have, this is my interpretation, we can have wonderful interactions with people. Because that's kind of what it's about. I mean, we have to nourish ourselves, we have to have food and shelter, and then we relate with other people. We rely on other people, most of us, to survive. Some people know how to do it on their own, but I think that most of us, especially if we're watching on the internet here, we're relying on other people and on other systems, to move forward. Bernadette says, so helpful as discontent keep as slaves to addictions of want, but allowing ourselves to be a light to others? Yes. So we need to be our light. And Bernadette, you're totally a light there at the dental school. You see Bernadette a mile away as if the building were that long, but you see her up in the stairway or down the hall, and you know what? She looks and she catches your eye. She goes, "Hi!" And she's authentically happy to see you, to see me. But I see her being that way with other people too. It's not just me. And she's a beacon of light. Like, that brightens my day, and it's going to brighten anybody's day who's around, because you feel that you're being touched. You feel that someone sees you, that someone's connecting with you. And even if you're just crossing paths, you're not physically going to interact very much with one another, it makes such a difference. It really does. So think about, the last time you've had a great interaction with someone, or when someone has, cast a really nice smile your way, or waved at you hello, or just did something really nice or gentle to you. Maybe you paid bus fare and someone gave you a great smile. You know what I mean? So think about that, and then look for ways that you can do something similar to other people as well, because that's how we perpetuate this higher frequency and this message of giving and this feeling of lightness. Because, and I was having this conversation with one of my wonderful patients today. Everyone was wonderful, but you hear me saying that all the time, right? Like, on occasion, there's friction. There's like maybe you're not necessarily seeing eye to eye with people that you meet in your daily life. But for the most part, for me, I want to say 99% of the time, I have great interactions with people. And I believe it's because I'm allowing for those wonderful interactions to happen. So like I was mentioning before, I may feel like I'm in a state of discontent, and I let myself do that. And then I look for ways that I can shift away from there, because it's not for me to have that. I don't want to cast that negativity out towards others. I feel like it's important for me, and I hope that by extension, I'm like rubbing shoulders here, that you'll feel a similar desire and a similar inclination to want to touch others in a happy and a positive way, and watch how that trickle out effect helps other people and helps brighten our world. Because there's a lot of darkness out there that we've all become aware of. If you tune into the media much and to the news, it can get very, very heavy, which is why I tend not to. And even here on Facebook, I'll do my best to avoid. Is that you, Bernadette, saying a heart? Yes, that is you. I'll do my best to avoid some of the heavy, dark stuff, because I know it's out there. I can get a little glimpse of the reality that someone else chooses to share, and then I'll turn away and I'll say, okay, I got the message, and that's what someone else is going through, and I'm choosing something different. And then I do what I can to shift my own frequency back to a higher level where I want to operate. And like I said before, if you watch any of my prior videos, I mean, we laugh a lot here. We have a lot of fun. And one of the, I'll just tell one more time today. I don't know how many times I've described this awesome little girl who came to see us. She's 4.5 years old, and we've seen her for about a year now. And she and her mom have come in together. And this little girl, your heart just like melts when you're with her. She's so grown up in her little girl way. And you can't help but just smile and feel lighter and feel happy with her, And she's not thinking, what little child do you know who can think beyond themselves and have consideration for you? That happens, that comes with age. So it takes me aback when real little ones are doing that very naturally. That's part of her being, And so I was telling this story, so her mom is in one chair and she's in the other chair. And I was just about ready to go to her, but I needed to do something at the computer. I was with her mom. And so there was a pause. And she actually was alone in that chair, which is in my office, they're not closed off rooms, so we can hear, and I could just lean back and I can see what's up, right? So she's not unattended really, but I started hearing kind of some clanky noises which were unfamiliar to me. I'm like, what is that? Doesn't sound like it's my equipment. It doesn't sound like it's something that's being knocked off a shelf or something, and anyway, I kept doing what I was doing, and I heard it again. And so I look past the divider, and there she is, and she has her little tin can, looks like a lunchbox, looks like a lunchbox with her toys in it, with her dolls. She has the names of her dolls and her little doggy that's there. And I forget, I think one of the dolls is a scientist, and I think there's a physicist, or I can't remember what it was, but there's, the characters of these dolls are smart women, they're smart girls. They're doing incredible things, and these are her toys. And so she just entertained herself, She was waiting for me. She didn't start calling out mom or get irritable or whatever. She just decided to amuse herself. So I come on in. Now it's my turn to sit with her, and she's got her box open here on her lap, and she scoots for it, and I said, may I have a look inside your mouth? And she says, yes. Okay. Yes. So, well, thank you. So I sit with her, and then I said, so who are your dolls? Who are your toys? She tells me the name of the dog and the two dolls, and so I'm going, as I'm checking her teeth. I'm looking around, and then I start repeating the names of her little set of, family here. And then there's a pause. So I repeat the name of the two dolls and then the dog. And then she says, would you like me to set them aside? Okay. She's like, are they in the way? Are they in your way? Shall I move these aside for you? Oh my gosh. I was just melting there, There was just so much joy, and I'm not laughing at her because, what a sweet thing. She's considering me. She's thinking about me, Would I like her to move these away, so that I don't know for what reason. They're just there in her lap. Oh my gosh, what a sweetheart, And she's just happy, and she entertains herself. She doesn't mind waiting. She's got her own world, and she's connected with others. Bless her mother for raising a beautiful child. I know her parents, and I feel like she came in with this too. There's something about that little girl, It's like I'm not a parent, but I know that parents must, you have to feed off of what your kids are like, the personalities, and you grow with each other, and you sync up, So I'm sure that the parents have taken cues from this little girl since she was a little baby. But this is what she's been like, She's been seeing me since she was 3 years old, maybe a little bit younger than that. So you know what I mean? This is what I get to live with. I get to have days like that. And these are stories that I choose to share. These are stories that I choose to tell. Why? Because it reinforces that good feeling inside me. So I could just as easily talk about someone who was aggressive or seemed ungrateful or had something irritating going on in their own life, that they're disgruntled or unhappy about something. But I don't want to do that. I want to allow for more abundance, for more wonderful things in my world. And so I want to tell you another story that I believe is connected to this, because I was playing that song of all these things are going wrong. Earlier this week, I started doing that, on Wednesday. It was between Tuesday and Wednesday. It was I thought things were going great. And then I had a disappointment, and it was oh gosh, what am I going to do now? I feel like I can't win in this area. That's how I was feeling. I feel like I can't win, when is it ever going to come my way in this, in this arena? And then arriving to work on Wednesday, and then it's okay, I thought that I was going to be having help from assistant, and assistant chose not to come. And this is someone that we were testing out. And I was just okay, so shift gears again and regroup, and now we're going to approach our workday this way instead of this way. And Leonora, my treatment coordinator, is awesome. She's been helping me out in the front and in the back, and we have this great groove going on where it's all right, let's roll with it. We'll keep going. So then just there that morning I hear, Dr. Ghafourpour, yes, the ultrasonic isn't working. I'm really? So there's this piece of machinery that we have in the lab that we need. It's not an absolute requirement, but it's important for us to have. And I was oh man, what a great way to start the day. Really? I'm short of help when I thought we weren't going to be. And now this great, and I started listing things off on top of these other things that were breaking, on top of these other things that weren't working, on top of the electricity that just flashed, and now the whole computer system was wonky again, and we had to restart, right? I started doing that. And then I went, whoa, 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 whoa. Cut it out now. Like I have this awareness. I'll tell myself, stop it. Find another way. And so I let myself feel that frustration and that disappointment. And then you just got to pick yourself up and keep going and keep shining a different light, which I chose to do. And we found an alternative way of going. And then we were able to order a new one. And I was just like, okay, it's going to be another $500 or so. What choice do I have, right? We need this. So today, because we're closed on Thursday, it's my teaching day, so we come back to the office and I see that UPS had attempted delivery, so that thing was to us the next day, which is awesome. So I was like, cool, that's an awesome thing to pay attention to. I knew that they'd come in the morning and we'd have what we needed. Okay, so I'm going to backtrack a bit. So the day before this machine had stopped working, Leonora showed me something that she found in the lab. And I'm like, looks like a fuse, but I don't know what it goes to. I don't know what it goes to. So we just left it there, because if you find any piece of equipment that you're not familiar with, it fell out of something, and just hold on to it, because we got to figure out what it went to. I did not make the connection. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't make the connection. Just forgive me on that one. Somebody might go, you dodo, what do you think was the reason why your machine didn't work? But I didn't think that way, all right? So I open up the box for the new piece of equipment, and manufacturers can package boxes any way that they want. Packaging any way. How did this manufacturer choose to package? The equipment is underneath, all the foam, buffering. On top, there's the owner's manual. And on top of the owner's manual, why do they choose to do this? On top of the owner's manual is a little plastic bag with a little fuse that looks exactly like the one that was found in a lab. Like, that was the message to me, is like, let's see, your new equipment needs this little thing that's probably, maybe it was extra, and I didn't even bother opening the rest of the box, because I was like, holy cow, the fuse came out somehow, which I don't even want to go into. It happened, and I identified. I just turned it over, right? Wasn't that success? I know. It's like, yay. I turn over the machine, and I'm like, oh, look. I mean, what kind of machinery has a little round knob that says fuse on it? It's even labeled for me. Fuse. Ding, 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 ding. Are you paying attention here? So I untwist it, and it's empty. But if I hadn't gone through that and ordering this new bit of equipment, I don't know if I would have caught on. I would have been like, man, that thing only lasted 3 years. That's how cheaply they're making things these days, right? I could have gone down that road of negativity. So I push it in that little spring-held thing, and I tighten it in, and then ta-da, it worked. And then the distributor was great, and they, sent us a return label, and I'm able to just turn it. Lana, hey, good to see you. I was just thinking about you. You popped up on my Facebook page today out on the sidebar, and I was like, wow, I haven't talked to Lana in a really long time. Welcome back. So yeah, so I believe that this, like, you see what I mean? I felt like the universe just kind of handed it to me that way. The box was open, Look at what's sitting right on top, that little missing piece in your own equipment that still works. Still works, honey. You don't need to spend another $475 for something. Like, you can return it. Maybe I'll pay for shipping. It probably, I wouldn't blame them if they charged me for the shipping on that, return. So a long roundabout way of saying that I believe that's because I was in a state of allowing, that even though I will go through states of distress, I do my best to not let that take over me. And I do my best to keep that limited, so that then I can open up the doors to allowing that state of flow, as Stephen says. And, watch how the flow of ideas, resources, clients, and money increases once you adopt allowing as your emotional set point. So I'm not claiming to be perfect. I don't think any of us are perfect, but it takes practice. And I love finding evidence. Like in last week I was talking about, even though evidence might look like there's bad things going on, good things really can be happening. You have to look for it though. You have to find it. You have to find the evidence of the good things happening. And that's what I do my best. That's what I'm practicing. I keep practicing that. And sometimes I need other people to point that out to me, I admit. I'll get on the phone, I'll call someone, I'll just be like, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe it. And sometimes I'm just laughing at it all. Because it's just like, really? How can this be going on too? How can this be going on too? And then you just get that laugh out and then find what you can let go of. You know, find what attachments you could let go of. What thought process are you really clinging to? Are you really holding on to and determined that something is a certain way? And can you let go of that so that you can now start to allow for the abundance to roll in? And so this was an example. So, you know, that 3-year-old piece of equipment is still working. All I had to do was plug the fuse back in. So I hope that inspires you to look at ways, look at things that are going on in your life that might seem like they're going one way, that they're going awry, and how can you shift your perspective? How can you tweak something just a bit, shift up the energy, open up the doors to allowing, instead of feeling like you need to change something, that you need for things to be different. You know, you have to do something else, right? If you just kind of take a couple of steps back, what if you can find ways of allowing for the next step to come and arrive at your doorstep, arrive in a box, you know, for you, a nicely packaged gift that you can recognize. You have to be open to seeing the gift. You have to be open to finding out that gift. I could have received a gift, you know, resentfully and like, oh my gosh, here I have to fork out this much more money for something. I could have just been gritting my teeth at that, right? But I wasn't. I was already in the flow of my day. I was already having a good time with this family. I think that's when we found this, when I was with that family, the mother and daughter that I was mentioning earlier, who are really awesome. You know, and that's what I was able to see. First thing out of the box is like, oh, there's the answer. There's the answer. So I hope that helps for you, and I hope you continue to shine your light. And thanks for letting me shine mine your way. And hey, Brandon, loving Fridays. I know, right? Oh, I'll tell you too. The other thing, because I was talking about doing these videos with one of my patients today, and she was like, no, I didn't know you were doing that. And she had just been telling me too that she barely watches the news because it's too upsetting. And I get that. That's why I barely watch. Well, I don't watch the news. I'll find out bits of information here and there, and then I'll kind of like, I choose for that to not be in my world because I've got better things to do and better ways to feel, I feel. So we were talking about what I'm doing here, and I told her, I said, you know, I do these Friday Night Lives. It's something I look forward to. I often don't have any clue what I'm going to talk about until just a few moments before, but I trust in the process, and I just know that when I get up here with you and I just start talking to the camera, something good's going to happen, right? The thing is that every single time, I feel really good afterwards. And I feel better than maybe I was feeling a little bit before. So sometimes I felt a little bit distraught even, and I'd center myself and I'll just go, it's going to be good. And sometimes I'll get inspiration. I think every single person here, Brandon, maybe not you yet. We'll have to probably tag you at some point and go, Brandon, what am I going to talk about? But I think every single person that I've seen here joining me so far has given me inspiration and told me, why don't you talk about this? What about this? And that's my way. Like, I'll connect with people and I'll get inspired, and then it's just like, boom, you know, into the ear and out of the mouth. There it goes. So when I was talking with this one patient of mine, I was telling her about how good I feel afterwards, and that I feel like you know, who knows what greater purpose all of this is having, but I know that I feel great every single time afterwards. And so if nobody's watching even, I feel good, you know, from doing this. So how do you like that? Stand in front of a camera and just start talking to it. Hey, I feel good. Not bad, right? So who knows? Maybe you can find a way of doing something like that yourself. Find what it takes to feel good, because that's what makes a difference in our world. Because you have a good heart, Bernadette says. Thanks, love. So do you. And continue shining your light, everybody. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube or watching the replay, thanks again for being here. And definitely, give me a thumbs up, give me more hearts, share this post to others that you feel are looking for inspiration and could maybe stand to have their day brighten just a bit. And if you haven't already, please like my page, and you can go to the following tab and you can select to be notified for all live videos, and that's how you'll know when I'll be live next. So your phone or your computer screen will give you a drop down and it'll say Darya G. Ghafourpour DDS is live, and then you can click on that and join in. So thanks a lot for being here, and hope to see you again next week, or possibly this Sunday if I pull my act together and do another one for Calling All Dentists. But for a weekly inspiration, look to hear on the same bat channel, same bat time, and have an awesome weekend, everybody, okay? Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.